Hello everyone, and welcome to game number 4 in our FFA tournament finals. Everybody has managed to pick up a win so far, excluding PB Head, still stuck on 0. He is going to have to win the next 2 in a row in order to take this match. Blues, Cubit, and Soren, on the other hand, if any of them manage to take this one, the series will end right then and there. Plenty of resources on this map, but silicon is definitely a bit light. Only 6 of those, all of them are low. That is going to make glass a bit more interesting in this match. And then only 11 carbon. There are some highs, but without adjacency. It is usable, but not absolutely great. So Cubit is actually going to elect to take a scientific location without a steel triangle, but with strong aluminum and water nearby. I definitely like this decision out of Cubit here. Sacrifice the triangle, but with it, you avoid the magnetic storms. Everything stays very close and compact together. Definitely something a scientist can get away with. I believe Blues was our next to found. He has also not taken a triangle, which is actually a bit more interesting in his position, considering he had the option to. He instead just has a line of steel mills running, and he is going to be relying on those to go ahead and push through to HQ level 2, with good water once again near him, and some decent power instead of aluminum. Alright, making sure I got the found order straight. PB Head was next. He is just going for a power play off in the corner, trying to sit on 4 of that silicon. So I believe he ate 2 of them and left 2 more. So now there are only 2 silicon tiles left. Definitely an interesting play out of PB Head, trying to make Power Robot work this game. Different from anything else he's ever done before. Alright, and then finally, Soren threw down Scavenger. He is using the high carbon tiles without adjacency. Still 4 carbon a second. Definitely a reasonable decision. And he found it in the middle of a large plot of water with aluminum nearby. So with dry ice helping him, he should be able to push through this game all right. But silicon is still looking very, very awkward this game. Alright. PB Head obviously not allowed to take this tile. All the others will be bidding on it. 24,000, 28,000. That is very expensive out of Soren. That is a lot of money to pay for a geotherm at this point. He's likely should not use it anytime soon. He needs to get to 2, possibly HQ level 3, before he even thinks about it. He's only running on 4 carbon a second, not something ridiculous like 5 or 6. And so I don't believe he can afford to actually put that plant down anytime soon, but having the tile long term is still fairly nice. PB Head still stuck on HQ level 1. It is nighttime. He's not making any money anytime soon. But as long as nobody else puts down too much power, he should be okay. Unfortunately for him, both scientists chose to move into water. That is not what PB Head would have been hoping for. He wants to see these guys consuming a lot of power to drive that price up for him, and they just are not. However, nobody has moved into power just yet. So he may still be okay here this game. That is an interesting auction. That was an auction almost certainly started by Blues. He is willing to pay quite a bit of debt for this extra tile at the risk of giving it to someone else, it looks like. Still nowhere near as strong as a claim, but maybe that's okay. He does get it, so 20,000 debt and $2,000 is what Blues is willing to pay to link up his farms, make sure that magnetic storms couldn't be a problem, and to just get an extra tile on top of that. Should be a reasonable decision. Glass is going to be awkward this game. Cubit has already pushed into plenty of glass to upgrade, which is exactly what I expect out of him. Soren has done the same. Blues, because he elected to go into that auction, has not. So he will be the last to that, and that definitely could cause him some problems long term. Let's see, Soren has actually chosen to secure both of the remaining silicon tiles, and now he is pushing for that HQ level 3 geotherm. With aluminum being as expensive as it is, that could be an acceptable decision out of him. Meanwhile, PB Head has managed to push into some additional power, has used up all of his claims, gathering up some iron and aluminum for himself. Definitely a reasonable decision. Nobody is collecting iron at all this game besides PB Head. So even with this being so far away and costing him quite a bit of power, it should still manage to make him a decent amount of money. But as you can see, this is costing him almost 40 power to both run this building and do the shipments. Now we're looking at closer to 50. So he does need to be careful about that. It is cutting into his profits, and it's not making quite as much money as one would expect from something pulling in $120 a second. Is this actually getting an adjacency bonus right now? That's very awkward. There's nothing next to it. But it doesn't look like it's actually getting a bonus either. I would yell at the UI guys for that, because it does look like a UI problem rather than an actual problem.
The black market is
but
online.
The UI is getting shifted around in a minute. Anyway, let's get back to the game. So, Qubit, he has managed to secure a geotherm. The time of PB Head's power monopoly has passed at this point. More geotherms coming online. He is also going ahead and gathering up some water, as there is not a lot of that being collected right now. And Soren is consuming some small amount of it, at least. Could go reasonably well for him, but I kind of like Blue's position here. Blue's has quite a lot of money. He's got these reactors down already, which is absolutely fantastic. Just a triangle of reactors, a triangle of farms, plenty of steel. He doesn't get to link up this geotherm because Qubit took it, but Blue's does have to be careful about power. I believe that is the thing he has chosen to skip so far, so he needs to hit HQ level 4 very quickly and get some power online, be it solar, geo, I don't really care. He just needs to get it done, otherwise debt will once again be his downfall this game. Qubit is moving into slant drilling, which I think makes a fair amount of sense. That will allow him to make silicon very easily. He could go into slant drilling plus teleportation and get effectively a stranglehold on that particular market. And it looks like Qubit is trying to take a few extra tiles for himself with auctions as well. You can tell Qubit doesn't want to make money from power or virtual reality this game. It is a very awkward claim for anybody else to take as well. So I like that decision in particular. $16,000 and about $3,000, I believe, for that. Perhaps a reasonable, likely a reasonable price to pay for a claim at this point. And it is just going to be some basic steel production. Nothing too surprising about that. Blues is on HQ4 at this point, by the way. He has claimed a geotherm. He needs to actually put the building down before too long. Very expensive with all that steel cost, but still needs to be done. And what else does he have? It looks like he's been using... He has a mule running. I think that's actually Soren's mule, possibly. We'll see exactly where it goes. Yeah, that is Soren's mule running. Alright. Whoa, an iron shortage. PB Head getting very aggressive. He has been sitting in his corner on that hacker array, collecting iron, still making money from power. And we'll have to see how these shortages pan out. He's going for 2 of them. How much cash is he actually sitting on? $60,000 is what PB Head is sitting on. That is enough to start looking at killing someone. After this second shortage, he could be in a position to seriously press on through and take somebody down if they take an upgrade that they can't afford. As an example, Soren's only sitting on about $15,000. Blue's on about 22, and Qubit down at a very small number of almost nothing. PB Head was hit by dynamite on his iron. That will slow him down a bit, but I think he's already gotten most of the iron collected that he actually needs. So I don't know if that's going to make too much of a difference. He's already so heavily goon squatted in this area. Even an EMP landing won't cause him too many problems. I would have maybe liked to see him turn these metal mines off, in fact, as they're almost certainly not actually successfully making much money right now, as that price is being artificially inflated more than anything else. Alright, people have tried to move into iron to counter this play. Obviously, that's still a strong move for PB Head to force a transition like that, and he is after Qubit. Qubit was the obvious target. Qubit sitting on no money. Qubit transitioning into iron at a bad time for it, when it was very expensive and about to be absolutely worthless. PB Head needs one more stock purchase in order to lock this up, and he is going to get it. Cubit knocked out of this. He is not winning the match this game. PB Head with a strong power play. The question will be, how can he follow it up effectively? His opponent was only HQ level 4, not quite pushing to HQ level 5. So PB Head does not have the ability to do something like build off-world markets. He has also only received 7 claims from that purchase instead of 8. So it is not as much of an advantage as one would hope, but it is still a very early buy that helps keep him in this game. But I would not call it too much of a lead just yet. Blues is on HQ level 5, which I believe will give him more claims than PB Head has still at this moment. Blues is going to be looking at potentially pushing into, I would love to see him take this geotherm, but
Want a hologram?
he is going to be looking at pushing into engineering lab, patent office, all those standard late game buildings are what he needs to be looking to and making sure that he does not die to debt, whereas PB Head's focus is still going to be on getting through upgrades, since he will need to push through to HQ level 5 in order to successfully be able to construct off-worlds this game. That in mind, let's check off-world prices once again. Water at 319, not a bad price, needs to be kept an eye on. Food at 410, oxygen 379, fuel 406, so a moderate off-world this game, it would appear. Chems at 391, electronics 351, glass 360. So a lot of stuff hanging out in that 350 to 400 range, which pretty much guarantees that the off-world will be reasonably profitable. At least one of those is likely to be valuable to send. And so those should become a factor at some point this game. PB Head has the upgrade available, but he may just choose to continue the play as he's been making it. Soren has quite a bit of silicon, but not enough to really hamper this too much. PB Head not looking for upgrades. He says, I want this game over now. So he is going to be trying to make that happen. Blues is very likely to be his target. Blues on HQ level 5 does have the ability to defend himself, but not near so well as Soren. I don't think PB Head is going to be able to actually lock either of them up here, but he can definitely put the fear into them and make them defend themselves, which will at least slow them down. Afterward, PB Head will have enough money to push to an upgrade to keep planting buildings. So he should be in a solid position from here. And Blues, you have got to sell that steel and buy yourself. Come on. No, Blues not going to do it. That should not have happened. That absolutely should not have happened. Blues had the money sitting around to save himself, but he needed to sell his steel and make it happen. He did not. And so he is just knocked straight on out of this, and suddenly PB Head certainly has a massive lead. Far more claims than Soren. Far more everything than Soren. Still sitting on 82% of what he needs to make a purchase, with another shortage in water this time on the way. Soren not successfully pulling in a whole lot of water. Yeah, I don't know who would have thought that, but you definitely always need to be looking out for PB. Just because he's lost the last 2 games doesn't mean he's not going to come back into it. And are we going to see him manage to close this out? Alright, claim auction is going to slow us down for just a moment, but Soren is looking at that 100% right now, and he definitely needs to be concerned. PB Head sitting on 118,000. Soren just gives it up. Says nope. Nope, 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 nope. He's done. So everybody's taken a game so far. I think no matter what the actual conclusion is here for this last one, which it is all on the line in this last game, everybody has shown that they kind of deserve to be here. Nobody's running away with this tournament. Alright. Strong power play into Hacker Ray out of PB Head this time. I have to give it to him. He found the perfect market to move into with that iron. Chose it over the silicon, which was the more obvious decision. It worked out brilliantly for him. That was fantastic. I was worried about the power cost of shipping the iron, but it was not enough to slow him down, that's for sure. Worked out absolutely brilliantly. Alright, guys. That is game 4, and we're moving on to a game 5. I'm going to get out of here, and let's go ahead and head on into that one.